My name is Philip Mosley. I'm the Artistic Scheduling Manager for the Royal Ballet and Character Artist, and I've been with the company, this is my 40th season. I joined the Royal Ballet School when I was 12 years old, and I joined the company in 1986, and I started off in the corps de ballet as a dancer. And then I did a lot of performing with the company, and I then went into more of a character roles, playing the widow in La Fille Margade, the stepsisters in Cinderella, and other roles. And then probably I think it was 1999, I joined the Royal Ballet Management as the assistant to Christopher Newton, who was doing the scheduling. And then I think in 2020 I took over the scheduling of the Royal Ballet Company, and that's kind of been my main job for the last 25 years. So I still perform as well, so I'm still on stage, performing. So I get the best of both. I love my job in the office and looking after all the company, and I'm still on stage. So my main job really is I do the day-to-day scheduling for the rehearsal schedules. So my main job is to actually make sure that everyone is rehearsed on time for their roles, and get everybody ready for the main stage performances. I'm an early bird. I'm normally in the office between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. So I tend to do, it's quite quiet in the office at that time, so I tend to do a lot of scheduling or like costume fittings, because I do the day-to-day scheduling. I normally then tend to run to the gym for half an hour when everyone starts coming in. So I get that morning quietness for me, and then my day-to-day, like I said, I do the main schedule for the Royal Ballet. So on a Tuesday morning, I will get all the schedules from all the ballet staff for their requirements for the following week, and on Tuesday I will start scheduling all the rehearsals, which I have to have done by Thursday morning, so that the ballet staff can look at the schedule and then say if they need some extra calls or if I haven't given enough of something. And then by Friday my schedule has to be out to the company by 12 o'clock. So Tuesday to Thursday evenings are probably my busiest days of the week. Because I was a dancer with the company for so long, when I moved into the scheduling role, I already had an in-depth knowledge of what the ballets were, especially all the ones I've been in. So I kind of, know all the numbers in all the big ballets, and also I already knew what the dancers, what roles they would be doing and what they would be in and not. So when I'm coming to scheduling, I kind of already have in the back of my memory of where they are. So when I'm planning, I know what's going to fit in the schedule and what's not on that day for those, groups of dancers. This is kind of a tough one, because we have so many amazing dancers and principals that, Kevin Lights gives the opportunity to a lot of dancers for, in roles. So one of the main challenges for me is to try and make sure I get enough stage time for each principal couple to be able to get on stage for their performance. So that's quite a big challenge now, is to make sure that we have enough stage time for all the dancers, the principal dancers doing principal roles. That's another big challenge, because really my job's a jigsaw. It really is a jigsaw, putting everybody in different places all at different times within the union rules to make sure people have their lunch breaks. And also one of my main jobs now is that when people are injured or coming back from injury, I have to look after them. So I have to program their comeback. So that's another challenge, is bringing people back from, if they're being off, to get them back to full fitness and give them the time and also the downtime to be able to get the physios and let them recover in between each rehearsals. That's another challenge that I have now. You know, my main challenge for for Japan tour is to get everyone rehearsed before we arrive, because it's a long journey. By the time we get there, they have only one day off, and then we start rehearsing, and we have little time in the studio. Then we're on stage, so I have to make sure that everyone's rehearsed so that when we get there, everyone's ready to go, and to just to make sure that everyone's knows everything that they're doing and everything's going to be okay. The Japanese audience, you are one of the best audience that I've ever experienced, and it's a delight because you love us. You really do, and it's such an experience to see the warmth and how the audiences are at the end of a show. We don't get that. It's coming out of the stage door and there's hundreds of people just cheering. I think that's one of the best things to experience coming to Japan. Korea and Japan was my first tour with the company in 1987, and these boxes behind us, we call them blue boxes, and these are our touring boxes where we put our makeup in, any ballet kit, and I've had these boxes for 40 years. So these boxes was the first time I travelled on tour, like I said, in 1987, and they're still with me, and it's the same boxes. Number B13, B is for boys, because that's what we used to be, B13, and unlucky for some, but it's always been my lucky number. I was number 13 for my audition for White Lodge, so it's kind of they're special to me, because they've been with me 40 years now. The widow is such a fun role. It's famous for the clog dance, which I love, but I love Act 2 at the beginning, when there's just you and Lise, and I have the tambourine and the spinning wheel, and it's just fun between the two of you, and you have a connection because she's my daughter, so we start off together, and that's a real kind of special moment for me. It's the connection between the two of us. She can be a naughty girl, but she has a lovely heart, and in the end the widow does as well. It's a very English production. Frederick Ashton lived in the country, and he saw all the countryside, and he lived in Eye. He had a cottage in Eye in Suffolk, and that's where he came up for the Ballet of La Fille Margade. And another note is that my first teacher at White Lodge was Ronald Emblem, who was very famous for doing the widow. And I have his clog. I have his original clogs. So those clogs are really special to me. I've kept hold of them. They're never going anywhere else. It's kind of the moment of my first starting my career at White Lodge, and now, this is one of the biggest roles I do, and his name are in the clogs, and it's a real for me a kind of continuous life for how this company evolves. The Royal Ballet is a really great family. Kevin O'Hare, the director, I went to school with when I was 12. Chris Saunders, who sits here, he was at school with me when I was 12. Stuart Cassidy, who's joined us this year as a principal repetiteur, was at school with me when I was 12. So there's four of us at one stage was all at White Lodge at the same time. So we go back a long way, and so we're a little family unit in our own way. I'm so happy we're coming. You're such a great audience. You are one of the best audiences in the world. The appreciation at the end of shows. I don't think I've signed as many autographs as I ever have. Look forward to seeing you all, and I'm hoping you're looking forward to seeing us. Goodbye, see you soon.